Hello my crafty friends, well thank you for joining me today, and we're going to make another beautiful card with the Impressions Abloom bundle. And so here's our card, and it's pretty I don't want to say basic, but it's pretty easy to make. It looks complicated, but it is not. And we're using the Impressions Abloom bundle. So again, it's the stamp set and then the dies as well, the Impressions Abloom dies, which we use to make our flowers here and our small little flowers as well as our sentiment. And then we also are using the pressed flowers embossing folder. So this part is embossed right here, and that's part of the suite, the Impressions Abloom suite. Then we also, to make these fun cuts, using the fancy border dies to make these fun little die cuts on our designer series paper, which is from the Floral Impressions. Yeah, that's the name of it, the Floral Impressions designer series paper. So let's go ahead and get started. I did a fair amount to already to get started here. We're also going to be using just a little bit of stamping, the I Appreciate You in basic gray. So let's go ahead and get our supplies out here. So what I wanted to do is show you kind of how I made these cuts. But first of all, this is just the thick white cardstock and standard cardstock base. So it's 8.5 by 5.5 and is scored at 4 1/4. So let's set that aside for now. And then I took my designer series paper, which is double-sided, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And let me just show you how I cut this up here. So here's my pieces. So what I did is moved my stuff out of my way. What I did is I had my designer series paper laid out like this, and I took my dies. So I used this die here, get this out, and I used this die as well. So I'm going to take my dies, and what I did is I laid this one down like so and ran it through my die cut machine, and then I did it the same way on this back, on the bottom side here. And so then that left me with this piece, and then I had these two pieces with the inverse of this on here. And so I simply took this piece and put it there and cut off the inverse of that on that side, and I did the same thing on this side. So then now I have my pieces that I need. So I have this piece here, and then I have these two pieces here. So let's go ahead and put this together. And so I also embossed this sheet of white cardstock, and this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I only embossed the bottom half of it. So what I did is I just took my embossing folder, and instead of putting it all the way so that all is embossed up here, I just put it in partially, so that, as you can see, it's just partially embossed on this side. So we'll go ahead and put these things together. So what I want to do is I want to kind of lay these out to see where I want them. I definitely want this covered up here. So I'm going to lay this here, and then lay this like this, and then tuck this in under here like so. All right, so I want this a little bit less. Oh, okay, I'm gonna glue this top one down when I get my spacing out. So you can space it however you want it. If you want it higher up, you can do that. If you want it a little bit lower down, you can do that as well. And if you find that you have die cut these pieces a little crooked, then you can always adjust it here at the as you put it on. All right, so I think I like that spacing. I might pull this in a little bit to give me a little bit more white space. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put some glue on this one. And I'm just going to slide it in here underneath this like so. Down a little bit. All right, so I'm going to line this up straight on my cardstock here. And the good thing about glue is you have a little bit of time to move it around like you want. All right, so I'm going to lay this here like so. And I'm going to fix up the bottom. I'm going to glue our flowery one on first. I'm actually going to turn this here so I can. All right, so trying to decide if I like that. All right, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is going to slide this out, leave that there, and just a little bit of glue down here. And to just tuck this in under here like this. Okay, now I'm just going to put some glue on this one. I'm just going to center it between those two pieces that I have there already. All right, there we go. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. So I had it out. Here we go. I'm just going to do this in basic gray. And this is 3/4 by 4 inches long. I'm just going to put it kind of a little bit off to the right here so I can add my flowers on. There we go. Let's get this out of the way. And then I'm going to put on, this is garden green. So this is 4 inches and this is 7/8 of an inch. So it's not quite an inch. I just wanted a small little border on here. So we're going to glue this down. So we're only going to have a border on the top and the bottom, not on the left and right. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this down onto my card front. Just going to center it here on my designer series paper. Like so. Okay, so now that I have all this done, I'm going to go ahead and glue it to the front of my card base. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of border around here. So I'm just going to lay it down here. And make sure it's all tacked down well. Okay, so now notice there's 3 little flowers here. That's one die cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue dots and I'm just going to kind of roll them up, and it's going to be kind of like a dimensional for these little flowers. So just going to stick it here like so. I'm just going to put one up in the corner. So it gives it a little bit of dimension without a full dimensional on there, because these are pretty small. But you just roll up your glue dot and then you just stick it down on here like so. And I'll put another one right here. And then one more, this last one. It didn't roll up quite as good, but that's okay. It's still gonna serve its purpose here. And there we go, we have our little flowers there. All right, so now I want to take another die cut from the bundle, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. So these have some slots in them, so you just need a little bit of glue, otherwise it comes through the slots. I'm just going to put this here, and then I'm just going to stack the small one on top of it, like so. And then we're just going to add our bling, and let's decorate the inside first real quick. So I'll just put this little piece, and this is 3/4 by 4 inches of the designer series paper. So when you cut a 12 by 12, which is what this come in, and if you cut it 4 inches wide and then 5 1/4 inches long, you'll get 2 pieces, and then you'll have an 1.5 inch piece left over that you can cut into 2 3/4 inches and have something for the inside of your card. All right, so let's put some bling here on our card. Just gonna put this big one right here, and put this little one up here on one of our little flowers, and put the medium one, let's just put it maybe right here. All right, so there you go. So using the fancy border dies and the fun designer series paper and the Impressions of Bloom suite, we have a very pretty I Appreciate You card. I know anyone who receives this would be so thrilled to get it. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please like it and share it with your friends. Have a fun and crafty day, my friends. Thank you.